Hello everyone, welcome to our aTech channel. Today we're going to look at the water desolation. In 2015, a series of droughts began to dry up the dam in southern Africa, the source of nearly half of the available water in Cape Town, South Africa. In 2018, the city was approaching day zero. Cape Town was the first major city to risk running out of water, but it won't be the last. London, Beijing, Jakarta, and Tokyo will all face their own day zero in the coming decades. Yet our planet is covered with water. It is even called the Blue Planet, with its more than a billion liters of water. The problem is that 97% of this water is salty. Moreover, most of fresh water is frozen in glaciers other than ice caps. Finally, only 1% of the Earth's water is drinkable. This is where the water desolation comes in. Before starting, we invite you to subscribe to our channel. You'll discover different and original topics every day. And if you have any suggestions on topics we could cover, leave a little comment after this video. Without further ado, let's find out what water desolation is and if it's a sustainable solution for the lack of fresh water on Earth. The solution seems quite simple. Remove the salt from the water to be able to benefit from all the water in the oceans. But it's not that simple. Desolation has been known in the history of millennia both as a concept and as a practice, albeit in a limited form. The ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle observed in his book Meteorology that salt water, when it turns into steam, becomes sweet, and steam no longer forms salt water when it condenses. And also note that a fine wax container would contain drinking water after being immersed long enough in seawater. After being immersed long enough in seawater, having served as a membrane to filter out the salt. There are many other examples of desolation experiments throughout the Antiquity and Middle Ages, but desolation was never foreseeable on a large scale until the modern era. Greek sailors boiled seawater for long sea voyages. The Romans used clay filters to trap the salt. Another good example of this experimentation is the observation of Leonardo da Vinci, Florence, 1452, who realized that distilled water could be made cheaply in large quantities by adapting to a still fireplace. There's several methods. Each has the advantages and disadvantages, but are all useful. The methods can be divided into membrane-based and thermal-based methods, e.g. distillation. The traditional desalination process is distillation, which is the boiling and recondensation of water to leave behind the salt and impurities. Solar distillation mimics the natural water cycle, in which the sun heats the seawater significantly for evaporation to occur. After evaporation, the water vapor is condensed into a cold surface. There are two types of solar distillation. The first type uses photovoltaic cells to convert solar energy into electrical energy to power the distillation. The second type converts solar energy into heat and is known for solar thermal distillation. Because of global warming, more water is evaporating, and Aristotle noted more vapor equals more clouds equals more rain. But this rain will not fall evenly. As the climate warms, dry areas like California and the Middle East will see even less rainfall. Other countries like India will have more rain during the monsoon season, but less likely the dry season when people need it the most. Desalination seems to be the ideal solution to compensate for this problem. The opportunity of water desalination began to explode in 1980s and 90s. Over the past 20 years, research around water desalination has accelerated. Today, there are more than 16,000 seawater treatment plants around the world. Every day, they produce more or less 100 million cubic meters of fresh water. 71% of this distillation water comes from rich countries. There is a reason for this. Desalination is very expensive. Boiling billions of liters of water consumes a lot of energy. Thus, in the Middle East, the availability of oil makes thermal processes cheaper, but the other countries, it can be 25 to 30 times more expensive. Also to know, the largest distillation plant in the world is Jebel Ali Distillation Plant in the United Arab Emirates. It is a dual-purpose facility that uses multi-stage flash distillation and capable of producing 30 million cubic meters of water per year. Also, typical U.S. military aircraft carrier uses nuclear power to distillate 400,000 U.S. gallons, 1,500,000 liters of water per day. But this energy does not come from the fossil fuels. Renewable energy can be used to desalinate water. This reduces the financial and environmental costs. However, another problem remains. The main byproduct of desalination is byrene, which the plant pump backs into the sea. The material sinks to the bottom of the sea and wreaks havoc on the ecosystem, affecting oxygen levels and increasing salt content. Researchers now report that the global desalination brine production is 50% higher than previously estimated, totaling at 141.5 million cubic meters per day, compared to 95 million cubic meters of actual freshwater production from the facilities. Despite the problems associated with desalination processes, public transport as developed can be very high. A survey on the Southern California community saw that 71.9% of all respondents support the development of desalination plants in their community. In many cases, high freshwater scarcity corresponds with higher public support for desalination development, while low water scarcity areas tend to have less public support for its development. To conclude, desalination is not a magic formula for obtaining fresh water. The process must become more efficient before low-income countries can access it. Plants must switch from fossil fuels to renewable energy to limit emissions. Also, the entire industry must come up with a plan to deal with its brine. The desalination system can become a good long-term solution with more research and development on it. This is gradually becoming a challenge for humanity. Not everyone is convinced that desalination is or will be economically viable or environmentally sustainable in the foreseeable future. Debbie Cook wrote in 2011 that desalination plants can be very energy intensive and expensive. Therefore, water-stressed regions would be better off focusing on conversion or other water supply solutions rather than investing in desalination plants. And that's it. We've reached the end of our topic on water desalination. Are you against the development of desalination plants? Tell us in the comments. If you enjoyed our topic of the day, leave us a little blue thumbs up. To make sure you don't miss out on the next topic, don't hesitate to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to turn on that bell notification. Thanks for sticking around until the end of our video, and I'll see you soon on aTech.